Alright, now I'm going to start out in the back, and I'm going to work his perimeters in, and I'm going to use a few different techniques in the back of his head. Around the perimeter, outside perimeter line, around the hairline, I'm going to work with a razor so I can get that edgier effect. So I'm going to go in here and just start working the perimeters shorter using my razor. And I'm just going to slide up and down with my razor to create a piecier effect. Instead of going in here and cutting everything blunt with a pair of scissors, I'll just work with my razor, adding a little bit edgier effect, but taking some of those pieces off. And if it's not perfect, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a little bit more edged, a little bit more texturizing at the ends. So we don't want to have it perfectly straight and blocked off. And if you want to use the nose of your razor to get that effect, I think that will work the best for you. Just go in there and leave some of those pieces a little bit longer, and leave some of those or take some of those pieces out. And I'll just go all the way across this hairline, working with my razor. To get that effect. I could also come in here with my scissors and chip this out, but I find it most effective with my razor to get that look. I find that works best for me. So whatever you're comfortable with and whatever your skill level will allow you to do to get that piecey effect is what you're going to want to do to create that look. So you can see we already started to clean him up and take some of that length off, but yet we still have some of that piecier, softer look around those perimeter lines instead of blocking everything off and squaring it up. So now I'm going to take and do the same technique and work it around, up around his ear, adding that same edginess all the way around the perimeters around his ear, and then I'm going to continue around his face. And that's going to end up being the point in which I use for my guide for the rest of the haircut. So I'm going to go through and take out some of this bulk and add some of that softness and that pieciness. If the hair ends up drying too much, then just wet it down so that you can use your razor and it'll properly take that weight out. So just go through and comb it in the direction that you want to cut. Comb the hair in the direction that you want to cut, and then use your razor to clean those lines out. I'm still using the nose of my razor on Ron to take those pieces out, because if I take and apply the pressure to the whole thing, I'm still going to get a straight look on there. So I'm using the nose of that razor and edging this out. Leaving some of this pieciness and texture inside of the hair. We're just going to follow that and continue all the way around the ear. And I'm going to lift it up and clean that up for him. You know, bend his ear down, make sure that you're getting the hair that you need into your fingers, and still just work the nose of the razor and take that weight out of there. Continue all the way across, all the way over his ear. And if this isn't perfectly straight, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I want the length gone so he doesn't have to come back in a week, but I want to make sure that we're getting still a piecier and edgier effect. And as you can see, we've cleaned that up quite nicely. And you're going to determine how much you want to take off, you know, depending on how edgy or how messy you want the perimeter cut. So for him, I want to take him fairly clean. So I'm going to take some length off of there, but I'm just not going to block it off while I take that length off. I'm still just going to slide through with that razor. Alright, so I'm going to follow this all the way around all the way from the back, all the way around the ear and up through the side, and work that perimeter in. And that's gonna be the guide to the rest of this haircut. So I'll spin him around and now work from the back of his head all the way up and around the opposite side of his head, around the perimeters.